When we think of the World Cup, we think of great players and teams from around the world, but there's one that all of us associate with success. Brazil have won the World Cup more than any other country, 5 times. What we want to know now is, do they have what it takes to do it again?
Brazil will be up against 2014 surprise package Costa Rica, along with stereotypical hardmen Serbia and the highly ranked Swiss.
All except the youngest football fans have glorious memories of Brazil winning the World Cup. From Pelé to Ronaldo, the country has the ultimate reputation for creating genius attacking players, and the current squad is no different.
Neymar will be one of the best players at the tournament, as long as he recovers from injury in time. But who does he have in support?
Is it enough to add a 6th star to the badge? Let's take a closer look. Let's start with the obvious one, the superstar, the national hero, Neymar. It's easy to forget with the circus around him, but Neymar is insanely good at football.
He's been the big hope for Brazil since making his debut back in 2010. The early hype was justified. Neymar has already passed a half-century of goals for Brazil.
A little reminder, he's still just 26.
The goals have led to something tangible as well. 1 Confederations Cup and 1 Olympic title. Neymar scored 4 goals at each.
But of course, they kind of pale into insignificance compared to another competition that didn't go so well, either for him or Brazil. Obviously, I'm talking about the last World Cup, Brazil's home World Cup.
Neymar actually scored 4 goals at this one as well. Maybe he has a quota or something. But he was prevented from scoring any more by a back injury.
Before the diagnosis came in, the country ground to a halt. TV was basically showing 24-hour coverage of Neymar's trip to the doctors. It was a bit weird, like he's the second coming of Christ or something.
All of Brazil waited with bated breath to see if their saviour would recover in time for the semi-final, but he didn't. And then it all went wrong. 8th July 2014, the worst night in Brazil's footballing history. A Neymar-less team went up against Germany and got hammered 7-1. It was the perfect storm of intense pressure, over-reliance on one player, and ruthless opposition.
And it was all perfectly summed up by that facepalm tournament logo. So the real question is, what's changed since then? Well, firstly, they won't be playing in their own country. I was there in 2014, and the expectations were through the roof. With a touch less pressure on them, they'll be in a better position to play how they want to. But do they have the players to take advantage of that? Let's dive in and take a closer look.
Speaking of diving, their options in goal are pretty good. First choice Alisson has been a revelation this season, marking himself out as one of the world's top keepers. Man City's Ederson has done likewise and still struggles to get in the team.
In defence, the old legends are still knocking around.
Thiago Silva and Marcelo are still very good. Unfortunately, right-back Dani Alves will miss out through injury. But they have other defensive talents, like PSG's Marquinhos at centre-back and Man City's Danilo. Younger, hungry players.
In midfield, the players aren't necessarily new, but they are improved.
Remember the shell of a footballer that was Paulinho at Tottenham? Now he's in the form of his life at Barcelona. Likewise, Fernandinho has played a key role in Pep Guardiola's Man City revolution.
Oh, and Felipe Coutinho? Better than Oscar. Now we come to the forwards. This is where we really see the difference.
Unlike in 2014, Neymar has some serious support. First, there's Man City's Gabriel Jesus, who at just 20 years old is already a first-rate goalscorer. Someone to take the goal burden off Neymar, and they also have Roberto Firmino.
Less of a poacher, more of a creator, and potentially the perfect foil for the other two. Tick, tick, tick. So with the pressure of being the hosts off and a much better squad at their disposal, Brazil are serious contenders this time around. They are going to charge through that group and make an assault on the final. That only leaves one qualifying spot for the other 3 teams. So, who's joining Brazil in the round of 16? Let's check out the competition, starting with Costa Rica. Testing.
They were the darlings of 2014, surprising everyone by finishing top of a group that contained Uruguay, England and Italy.
Can they repeat that? First, the good news.
The team that knocked them out last time isn't even at this tournament. What the hell has happened to the Netherlands? Anyway, back to Costa Rica.
Many of the heroes from 4 years ago are still around. Like this guy.
Keylor Navas has spent the last few years as Real Madrid's #1.
If you haven't been paying attention, that's been going pretty well for him.
Time hasn't been quite so kind to Joel Campbell. He briefly looked set to nail down a place at Arsenal, but since then, he's spent most of his time on unimpressive loan spells.
Maybe another World Cup is just what he needs to turn things around.
They also have experienced captain Brian Ruiz to lead the troops.
Sounds pretty good, right? But is it better than what Serbia has to offer?
In a word, no. The Serbs have a good combination of grit and flair, a tough-tackling midfield duo of Nemanja Matic and Luka Milivojevic should allow the attacking players to do their thing.
Which is useful, as they have some serious creativity in their ranks.
Dusan Tadic is one of the most experienced of the bunch, but he'll be ably assisted by his younger teammates like Adam Ljajic.
But all eyes will be on another player who's having a stellar season at Lazio.
Sergej Milinkovic-Savic has become one of the best midfielders in Serie A this season.
His performances could be crucial in a team that's not exactly packed with natural finishers. So that leaves us with one more team, and on paper, they're the favourites to join Brazil in the second round. Switzerland.
They are one of the top-ranked teams in the world, despite lacking genuine star quality. Captain Stefan Lichtsteiner has had a good career in Serie A, but at 34, he's in the autumn of his career.
You can pretty much sum up the Swiss team as good, but not great. Just look at Granit Xhaka.
He's got a good record for the team, but has had a nightmarish couple of years in the Premier League. Or Ricardo Rodriguez, a dead ball specialist who's been part of Milan's dismal campaign.
And even their brightest hope from the last World Cup has gone the same way.
Xherdan Shaqiri scored a hat-trick in Brazil. He was at Bayern at the time and looked set for a bright future. But in the meantime, he's wound up getting relegated at Stoke.
He's still a good player and the top scorer in the current Switzerland squad. But like the rest of the team, he's not quite top level. So who's going through out of those three? It's a tough one, but Switzerland's record at major tournaments could be crucial.
They got to the round of 16 last time out, and the Euros 2 years ago. They know how to get out of the group,
but not much further.
So Brazil are charging through to the knockout phase, followed by Switzerland. I think Serbia will just miss out, and Costa Rica will finish bottom of the group, but it'll be tight.
You know what? I think Brazil are my favourites to win the World Cup. They've already overcome their demons once by beating Germany in a friendly. Now maybe Russia 2018 will give them the chance to lay the ghosts of their home World Cup to rest. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and join me next time for Group F and Germany.